thing put up on the big screen, but I put something on it.
So because we wanted to reuse that set, we literally turned it into the oscillator set at the end where Han and Kylo have their face-off. Part of doing that was a complete repaint on the whole structure, ripping out a lot of elements. We built in this gantry, this steel gantry that was about sort of 18, 19 foot high. We ripped out the main door and the TIE fighter, and we rejigged the whole thing with a different paint job just to make it feel that it was a completely different space, which is again one of the things when you watch the original Star Wars movies, or any Star Wars movie, you will be absolutely gobsmacked about how many times that you rip a piece of that set and stick it in another corner of the room. And so we reconstructed that for this last, all of the last sequence that was shot with Han and Kylo and their face-off. And one of the things that I remember JJ saying was he wanted this kind of wall of lights, again like Bespin, but something new. And we planned this whole sequence, and again, without going sort of too deep into it, this entire sequence, if you watch it very carefully, is all about light and dark. The sun is dying, Han's dying, Kylo turns to red. If you think very hard about that sequence, it's all incredibly carefully planned about who's doing what, where they are, what it means as far as even what the Force is doing. And so if you watch it again, think about what it means as the sun dies, and look at the timing of the shots, and when the light goes out, when it's finally crushed, what Rey does, what Han does. Again, it's all incredibly planned out. And one of the fun things you get to do, Norman Reynolds came on set one day, the original production designer from Empire and Jedi and the supervising art director of Star Wars. I got to hang around with him for the entire afternoon, and I can tell you, watching that man walk onto a set and see Natalie Portman for the first time in 30 years, seeing almost a tear in his eye as he just stood there and go, I've not seen that for a while, was a very, very special afternoon. But anyway, thank you very much from Ireland.
I believe we have 24 seconds for questions. Yeah.
Period movie. They're all period movies, long time ago, galaxy far, far away, and you have to put yourself in that design mindset. I mean, I don't know what you guys, I mean, they're not science fiction to me, they're a science fantasy set in another period, and my approach as a designer has always been to approach it thinking, what did Ralph, what did Joe, what did Harry Lang, how did they come up with this? They created a language unto themselves, and so that's normally our approach that comes into it, or my approach anyway.
Yeah, and one of the things that, I'm still on, can you hear me? And one of the things that I think is really important is, I spent 7 years with George working on it, and learned a lot of what his philosophy is in terms of designing what Star Wars is. And what really surprised me was that he always considered Star Wars not a science fiction film. And the way he looked at it was that it's a foreign film. We do all this homework behind the scenes. That's why we spend a good year or more designing everything. And then he'll just take little snippets. And then, but what happens is when you do all that homework, what you see on the film actually makes sense because there's a logic to all of it. And that creates a very authentic world. And George always said that, when you're making a film like this, you don't need to explain it all. You have to figure it all out. You don't have to show it to the audience because they'll automatically make those connections. And I think if you look at it like it is a foreign film. You know, if you look at a normal foreign film, you're not being explained what any of these things are, but the world is very cohesive. And so that is really our approach now, is to create this world in a very immersive way. And that's why we have big art departments, huge research departments to really do all that homework, so that the world that you see in the cinema is a small slice, but it feels very good and real.
Okay. Gotta get a microphone.
Most complicated VFX shot.
Most complicated. I don't know. I don't really,
Gents, just roll in the back to get some big applause on my cue, is that okay? Love it.
yeah, you know, well, in different degrees. I don't know, something I was very pleased with was the synthetic terrain work on Operates. Because that was really very new, a difficult challenge when we started, and I was really pleased with the results on that.
Stand by, ladies and gents. 7. Applause, please, in 3, 2, 1, applause.
That is correct, yes.
How was it going, guys? So you're back in celebration once again.
Yeah, this one is great to be back. A little less nerves on this one, because last time, you know, rolling out on that stage in front of all those people with the real BB-8 was terrifying. So
Can you come when you come in?
it went really well. Yeah, it was a great moment. The reaction, we were blown away with the reaction, so it was fantastic.
Yeah, it's kind of like the breakout star. Now, something like that. Oh, yeah, hi. Hi. Oh, it's still so weird seeing you.
You're always still to show. It took a couple of months of thinking about it, and the whole build for the film version was about 3 months. Then this one, he took about another 3 or 4 months after the film was made. Made this one especially for coming here and meeting everyone at celebration.
Yeah, we built different ones. We built about 7 different versions of BB-8 for filming. We didn't build this one specifically at the time for filming because
The camera on it.
for a film environment. So we had 7 different versions. We had trikes, we had wigglers, we had puppets, and we had lightweight carry versions, stunt versions. But he was the 8th version, and as we call him, the red carpet.
And we brought along one of the real film versions, which we've just shown on the Galaxy stage, and that's come straight from filming episode 8. So it's lots of progress.
Challenging. But I think there's been other ball robots done in the past, but the bigger challenge with this one was having a head on it and making it spin on the spot. Those 2 things that have never been done on a ball robot.
And also giving it the character of BB-8 really. So there's an awful lot going on in there.
He's so emotive.
Yeah.
There's so much personality in such. There's actually a simple design.
Yeah, simple shapes, but you can get a lot of character just from the way the head moves and the way the body rolls. So he's great.
Well, I've been in the animatronics industry, in the film industry for 23 years. So it's not just droids, it's complicated creatures, animatronic robots, droids, and everything like that.
I've been starting playing with Lego, still playing with my Lego, love Lego, so this time I was figured out a lot of the principles I figured out in Lego. So just been doing stuff like that.
It's like getting an engineering project bigger.
Yeah.
So my title on the film was Electronic Design and Supervised.
actually, for 2 years, you kept your secret. And then to come here and see everybody and see the reaction against that, this is probably the best bit.
To have been part of such an amazing character. It's really
I know, I've connected him a few times now. It's kind of like a little girl when I see it. It's absolutely the kind of thing. So we're going to get out with him in a minute and we'll be back with more Star Wars Show Live from Star Wars Celebration and everything else in a minute.
See your face.